speaking about people being in caskets, Tuskegee University.
How that have anything to do with people being in caskets?
Because the people are old. X, keep up. Come on. I'm saying they old. So Tuskegee University implemented a dress code this week. This is coming off the back of, it's been a lot of HBCUs in the news. Shout out to Howard. I hope they got whatever going on in Howard. Figure out with all those kids being unenrolled and the parents saying that they didn't have no real communication and they weren't getting the response from the financial aid office. And it's such a strange and unheard of problem.
Oh no, it's a messed up situation.
Never heard anything
I read
about
into it.
Never heard anything about HBCU people not picking up the phone at the financial aid office. But Tuskegee decided to address, a major issue, something tearing their school apart, X. Tearing their goddamn school apart. They wearing bonnets in the cafeteria and do-rags in the cafeteria.
Causing riots.
Slides. Fucking bastards. They wearing slides to the cafeteria. They rolling out of bed at 8:30 in the morning, going in there for breakfast, getting an omelet with their bonnets on. And they put their foot down. They said, you little niggas can't come nowhere near the cafeteria unless you dressed up in a 3-piece suit and a watch that dangles. You know what I mean? They didn't say all that, but they basically said you can't wear no bonnets, do-rags, pajamas, inappropriate clothes on our campus. You can't come into the cafeteria with any of these things on. You need to wear a suit if you got business meetings. Now, I'm totally fine with universities enforcing dress code, especially in specific classes. If you're taking a business class, it would behoove you to buy a suit, nigga. If you go to an HBCU, a lot of the time they're gonna tell you need a suit when your parents are asking you. I mean, when your parents are asking the stuff you need to be sent with, they're gonna ask if you're a man, you need a suit. If you're a young lady, nice dress, pair of shoes. That's usually because you might have to go to a church. It might be some huge donor that shows up and you're a part of a program and you get to be in these pictures. You need to represent the university well. That's totally different. What I do have a problem with is with them telling them what they can wear on campus. And when I say on campus, I don't mean in their business classes or whatever. I'm talking about what I want to wear to the bookstore, what I want to wear to the caf, what I want to wear to just go hang out at the library, whatever. That is a step too far for me, and that's that old, I said it earlier, but I'm saying it again, that Venn diagram of the older black people and white conservative values meeting in the middle. It's a lot of that shit, and we kind of just, I never really been, I'm not into that. Y'all know me well enough to know I'm not super into the idea of conformity, but what I'm really not into is that idea of, like this idea that you, first of all, you can't wear, I'm at work right now.
And some slides.
Damn. It's almost like you can find jobs that let you do what the fuck you want if you happen to do that. But that's not even my point, because I know we happen to work in radio and everything isn't going to be like that. What I'm saying is you can't wear most of those things to most places that you wear in college. I mean, you can't wear a T-shirt to most jobs, but you can wear a T-shirt to class. Like, it's not that big a deal to wear whatever you want to class as long as you're not affecting the next person's lesson. You don't hear these dress codes being implemented at Harvard. You don't hear that. People get to wear what the fuck they want. They get left alone. Only at HBCUs do these people overreach and tell people what they can wear to the cafeteria. Why? Who is it for?
Well, they're probably not wearing bonnets and pajamas.
Yeah, they're wearing Birkenstocks with their toes out and sweats.
But I think this is what it is.
It's not a difference.
It's just representing the campus. Like, you never know who's coming to visit, so they just want everybody to look their best.
That's a dumb reason.
I don't think that is. It's kind of like with the NBA.
It's not the same. I can't wear a do-rag in the cafeteria because somebody important might come to the cafeteria and they're going to care
I'm talking about pajamas and bonnets.
The pajamas or whatever, I don't think, like, if
and it depends on what kind of pajamas they're wearing too. First of all, it could be some of these girls I have seen. Okay,
I'm thinking they're talking about boys.
A little revealing,
I'm thinking they're talking about boys when it comes to the pajamas.
But some girls I've seen it.
They're revealing clothes. Honestly, first of all, if you at a college, if you walk in the cafeteria, it's not finna be no 20 dudes or 20 people in the cafeteria in pajamas. You might see somebody in their pajamas if it's early in the morning or they just rolled out of the bed. You might see that. And you might see a girl in her bonnet if her hair is not done. You might see somebody with a do-rag if their hair is not cut. A lot of people go to college far from home. When I was at Benedict, I remember niggas didn't get haircuts for like 8 months. Everybody was walking around that bitch looking crazy. Niggas was wearing do-rags and hats everywhere because niggas couldn't get haircuts. People were far from their barbers.
So they said hats too?
Yeah, they don't want you to wear hats. They don't want you to wear do-rags. They don't want you to wear bonnets. I'm just saying that this type of shit only happens at HBCUs. Why? That is all I'm trying to figure out. Do not tell me that all of these HBCUs hold themselves to higher standards than all the Ivy League schools in the country. Even if they do, that doesn't make sense. Even if you telling me that we hold ourselves to a higher standard than Harvard, if that's what you coming to me, because my man right here went to Morehouse. If you a Morehouse man, Morehouse requires people to wear suits. Niggas can wear a do-rag in the cafeteria. I've been on Morehouse campus. This is unnecessary. You over policing. It's just too much.
So you're trying to say that putting a ban to do rags and pajamas is a form of white supremacy?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, first, I'll put it like this. I think the idea of professionalism in America is linked to the white man's ideology of professionalism anyway.
I would agree with that.
So even when you are doing, I'm not saying that I'm being held down by white supremacy if you make me wear a suit, but your idea of professionalism is that of the white professional.
It may be rooted in white.
It is rooted in that. You're American. It's rooted in that. The idea, even 100 years ago, when black people were fighting for rights, they wanted to show that they could be like you. I wear a suit too. Why can't I not get the same job? That was the argument. My argument has always been, y'all know me long enough, your job, what you get should be based on your merit. I don't care what you look like. I don't care what you wear. If you nice, you nice. I've always operated like that. Mark Zuckerberg dressed like a homeless person. You think they care?
I have to disagree.
Did they care?
If everybody's coming to a job interview or just to class in pajamas, it's like, did y'all care? Like, come on, let's be presentable.
It's college
I want you
and it's
to
8
be
in the morning.
presentable.
No.
At least try. Like, I know when I was in college, I wore at least a hoodie. I took my bonnet off because I was wrapping my hair, but I still wanted to look cute.
I think that coming from Morehouse did implement a dress code either right after I left or it might have been like my senior year where it was something similar. So this isn't anything new. I think that there is probably a new regime. Whenever there's a new regime or new president, they tend to do things that are different or they want to set a certain tone, right? And I think the goal of college is supposed to be to prepare you for the real world and what's outside.
I agree.
And representation does matter, right?
I agree.
Early on in our radio show that we used to have, right? Austin and I argued about whether you should be able to cuss around black people or say the N-word or whatever like that. White people, black people, our job is a white business, although we got black people who run and stuff, right? At the end of the day, like, it's code switching, right? I think the same thing applies. Like, there's a time and place for everything. For me personally, I never went to class in pajamas, but I did go to class in sweats. You know what I'm saying? I was definitely in sweats, or, you know, if I felt like getting dressed, I got dressed. You know what I'm saying? But
hold that thought. That's a very good point. I don't think there's anything wrong with sweats. It's not pajamas.
Yeah,
and
I don't think anything.
And you still, it was still acceptable. I don't think there's anything wrong with slides.
They said you can't go.
But
they said you can't wear, but you can't wear sweats.
They said no. They didn't say sweats.
Okay, so slides is different. I get it because slides are not like a what's the word I'm saying? Like, it's not professional. I mean, it ain't professional. It is not. Ain't nothing professional about wearing slides.
But I guess my thing is sweats it's clothes.
Yeah.
Pajamas is not. And then when you got everybody in there just looking like they in the bed,
like
did
they say you can't wear Crocs too?
All of that is the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
I'm assuming no. I'm assuming no. But I would say all of that is the same thing. But I'm assuming they're going to say no.
Because what I'm saying, here's what I'm, no, they're not sneakers.
Crocs not sneakers?
No. I thought they're,
sneakers.
No.
Crocs are not sneakers.
Those are totally different.
But I think it could be the closed, this is real dumb and semantics and pettiness, but it could be like the closed toe versus the open toe, right? You know what I'm saying? Like sandals might be appropriate, but slides aren't, you know? I don't know, but I do think that what they're trying to do is make sure that the black students that are at these schools have a certain standard of pride that when they go out into a workforce or when they go out into around because they have different donors. They got different people seeing. They want to make sure that their product that they're pushing is represented well. Just like Morehouse. Morehouse has a mystique. It has a image that we are trying to continue to uphold. So anything outside of that said box that we have been upholding for the last 100-something years, right, can cause alumni, donors, bad press to go, and it makes the school and institution look horribly. Now, you may not agree with the rationale, but I think that when you're seen on a global scale and when you're seen from the eyes around, everyone is not afforded the same type of benefits. Like you said, we work in entertainment, right? In entertainment, you can be able to be yourself and dress the way you want and say whatever you want because that's the type of industry that we're in. And tech is another one. Tech, depending on what the job is, you can wear a polo or you can wear a t-shirt. You know what I'm saying? You can wear whatever because at the end of the day, it matters. What matters is the product that they're producing in those industries. In other industries, it don't matter about the product. It matters about you and what you give off. And because of that, the product is secondary, right? Mm-hmm. And so I think that there are certain institutions that are trying to instill that overall. Now, I've never been a fan of like capital punishment. You know what I'm saying?
This is the disconnect.
What do you mean that's a disconnect?
This is the disconnect. The disconnect between generations is what you say.
No, that's not the disconnect. But what he's saying is true. It's because like if I take my what we do in media compared to what what my mom does. She works in retirement funds. Mm-hmm. So we're able to do things that she cannot. Like she's like, why are you away from your laptop? Why aren't you stuck at your cell? I said, no, it's not like that, Mom. We're really lax. It's not a generational thing. It's a company thing.
You're right. It is based on the company.
So some companies.
You wouldn't take a job that would make you do that, Danielle. It's a generational thing.
It's not a generational thing. If the company, if a company,
that sit at your computer. For
some people do.
I'd say it to her.
No, I have.
Okay.
I have because I had to survive.
I know I would never do nothing like
that.
But I would
no, but see, back then, if I lived in Atlanta, I had to take a corporate job and I had to follow their rules, and so I wasn't able to. And they were still lax, but I still had to dress a certain way, and I had to be stuck on my computer all day. Versus in media, which is what I do love because it is relaxed.
I think y'all admit.
But no, we were using that as an example of like exes, they're preparing you because you're in your like some kids. Well, I don't like saying kids. I'm so sorry, but if you're used to wearing bonnets and being in pajamas all day, how is that preparing you for the work?
And I'll give you a perfect example. I'm sorry, Austin. You've been trying to get your point across. Go ahead.
It's just we're not having a genuine. This is disingenuous. First of all,
what you mean it's disingenuous? We lying?
No, I'm not saying y'all lying. I'm just saying like colleges aren't fucking full of kids walking around in bonnets and fucking pajamas. You might walk into a cafeteria. Yeah. You walk into a cafeteria at any given time. You might see 3 people dressed like that. You might see 5 or 6 girls.
Maybe back when you was.
I was just in college 5 years ago.
Okay, a lot has changed in 5 years.
Okay, what I'm telling you is when I was in college, people wore bonnets, wore slides, wore do-rags to the cafeteria, to class. It's an overstated issue, and it's a non-issue. It's not that serious.
But what I'm saying, to you, it's not that serious because of the lifestyle that you choose to live.
It's not that serious to me because I think the entire idea of professionalism in this country is rooted in the white man's ideology.
And I agree with you.
think that when you go to a HBCU and you tell niggas that, if you want to get a job, you have to do X, you have to do this. That's true for certain jobs. That's it. What I'm saying is that I think like that. So I've always thought that. Once I figured out that there were white people going to Harvard and Yale that dressed like they didn't have a cent to their name, beard unkept, all kind of shit, and they go on to make hundreds of millions of dollars because they're able to code and they're able to do different things, and they never are turned down because of their appearance. Everybody understands that it's harder for black people to get into these spaces and to be accepted, so you have to fight harder and all of those things. The generations that are coming now, this is what the fight was for. That was what the marching was for. So
what?
that nigga could wear slides to class and get the same job as the nigga in the Birkenstocks.
And
Do
guess
y'all
what?
niggas not understand that?
No, because that's not what the marching and stuff was for.
I wanted, bro. So niggas didn't want the opportunity for everybody to be judged on their merit. That wasn't what the marching was for.
Yes.
Okay, stop right there. I know you finna try to attack that point, but that's my basis. So don't take my basis from me while I cook my food, nigga. All right, that's first. Niggas wanted everybody to be judged on merit. I think telling somebody that you shouldn't wear a bonnet out of the dorm room every single time you leave the dorm is fine. But you tell them you are not allowed to come into the cafeteria if you have something on your fucking head. It's too much. That's their choice. If they don't want a job where that's important, then don't fucking tell them that they have to do that.
Here's the thing. It's not their choice because they don't run the institution. It's the person.
Okay, so go to a PWI.
It's the person who runs
this
the
is
institution.
More important than renovating dorms. This is more important than financial aid.
It's not more important.
So why every 2 years do we have a story about fucking clothes?
It's the thing that's highlighted. It's not most important because if you go to the HBCUs, the dorms are sometimes being renovated and they're not. The financial aid is messed up and sometimes it's not. Sometimes the dress code is the problem, sometimes not. The same Tuskegee is also the same place that I think last year just instituted a flight school for Tuskegee Airmen based off, and we talked about that and highlighted that too, right? It's the same school that having two different things, right? So my point is that people fought for the ability for everybody to be judged off their merit. However, we still live in a racial society that does not give two flips about that. So the people who are at the heads, and I'm not saying it's right, I'm just arguing that the people in the heads are trying to prepare the people below. I know this because I work with Gen Zers. I literally work with college students, and they are not as prepared for certain things as others. Some are, but not all of them. So my job as their supervisor, as an upper professional, is to tell them, hey, you can't come on this meeting with a do-rag. You know why?
You know why?
Thank you. You know why? Go ahead.
You want me to pause? Or you want me
I want you to finish that point, but go ahead.
Okay, you can't come on a do-rag. Why? Because in this particular setting that we're in, right, it is not professional to wear this.
Now pause right there. Pause right there. I'm sorry. Pause right there. Because I feel like this is the disconnect with y'all right now. Y'all are talking about being in meetings, professionalism in class. Have y'all heard me talk about that? Or have you heard me say, stop telling people what the fuck they can wear to a cafeteria and on the campus?
Well, let me answer that question.
That's all I'm talking about.
Let me answer that question.
I think it's totally fair to tell a nigga that's about to go into a business meeting, yeah, nigga, take off the do-rag. I think you out your fucking mind to tell him he can't go into the cafeteria if he has on a do-rag. When I pay and live here.
Here's the thing, though. The reason why I gotta tell you that here in the meeting is because nobody told you when you was going to the cafe when you come out the house.
But
don't do that.
True.
It is, bro.
That's not true. Bro, that's not why you have to do
that.
Wait, I have
you at home on a meeting, on a Skype, on a Zoom meeting. You telling me that the reason he has his do-rag on at home? Hold on. You telling me that this kid, that this imaginary kid we talking about?
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about a kid I know.
I'm talking about for me. I'm talking about for me. I can't speak to you actually knowing him. I'm talking about for me. In my mind, if you would get on a Zoom, if you're about to have a business meeting, business implies what you should have on already. Listen.
But everyone doesn't have that common sense.
Okay, listen. If you need to be, if common sense ain't common, that's great.
Yes.
If you don't know that you shouldn't have your fucking do-rag on when you're doing a business meeting where people are going to be dressed in suits or have ties on or any kind of business where you're trying to get a job, that's common sense. Your mom, your parents, people around you tell you shit like that. Even the niggas that go to funerals in regular clothes know they should have on dress clothes.
Oh no! Because now at funerals, have you seen the videos?
I didn't say they don't go any day yet. I said they know better. They just have it on.
No, but
some people don't know better.
What she's trying to say is that just like you said, the times have changed, brother.
God, bro.
Times have changed.
So the school has to change. Hold on. So the school has to change its rules.
You gonna let me finish my
person on the campus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas got y'all mind.
Yes. Yeah. And we may be.
Y'all is crazy.
We
bro.
may be.
That shit is crazy.
And all those that are watching or listening to us right now, why don't you drop a comment and let us know? Do you agree? Do you agree that because times are changing, you have to address things to the times that are in, or are these dress codes okay or are they not? My point is that
that's crazy, bro.
Things are different. What you think people should know, They don't. So the reason why I got to tell a 21, 22, 23, 24-year-old while we're on this remote meeting for their job that, hey, you got to take your do-rag off or you can't wear your bonnet here is because in this setting, that is viewed as unprofessional, right? The same way they got to tell me sometimes that I didn't even know. Yes, for my job. It's a remote job.
No, I'm saying I probably would have.
And so
depending on what you would view, however important you view what you're doing is how you gonna do that. And so they don't think their job is that serious.
No. It's not that. It's that you don't know what the company policies are in this particular setting. I remember when I worked at Emory after I graduated, right? When I went to Emory for my master's and I was in an office setting, right? And I had my headphones on and I was just tuned out. I was just doing my work because in my head, I'm in an office. So I thought that all I got to do is do my work and zone out. And my boss had to tell me, hey, when you're in this office setting, you can't have your headphones and you got to be aware of what's going on. You got to be, you know, because that's how the company in the setting was in the office. I didn't know. You know why? Because I never worked in the office before, right? So these same kids who are going to the cafeteria in a do-rag and a bonnet because they feel like they at home and they're comfortable and stuff like that, right? Don't know that you got to switch things when you go into different settings. Yes. So you institute.
So it's teaching you how to be accountable, but it's teaching you how to be accountable because when you are used to going to the calf in your bonnet every day, and then you go into the workforce. No, I'm telling you, some of these kids do not have common sense. There was a video that was going around of people showing up in court on Zoom. One guy was naked. One girl had on like an outfit like she was at the club, and the course was like, "Ma'am, I need you to dress appropriately because those are the rules. You don't come to a Zoom thing." But that's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying. What I'm not saying is that we should make. Here's the thing. I don't think that we should make the majority like the rule for the minority versus for the majority. I get that argument. Like if there's only 5 people in the calf wearing a bonnet, why you got to make a dress code for the 5 people? I don't think
it's just 5.
I agree because I think times have changed where people have become more lax in certain settings. So it's like where you think it's only 5 people, really it's 500 in that joint, but it don't look. Crazy. And I mean, shoot, let's go. You go to campus. Let's go see. You know what I'm saying? I work on campuses. Okay, I see.
So you telling me when you go into college campuses, you feel like it's an overwhelming amount of people in the cafeteria walking around.
I go to an all males. I went to an all male school. No, there's not a majority of dudes in Morehouse cafeteria with bonnets on. No, you know what I'm saying?
Or do-rags.
It's not majority of them. But you got to also understand, my school has a standard. All right?
That's true.
So because of that standard, people know this is the rules of the house.
So
you know what I'm saying?
So why stop here? Why not? Why let them wear T-shirts? You can't wear a T-shirt at work, right?
You can wear
T-shirts.
Well, I can wear a do-rag at my job, so should they be able to wear do-rags?
Based on the environment that you are preparing these people for, or the environment they're in, that sets the rules. If the majority of professionals were able to wear do-rags now in 2026,
are the majority of professionals going to work in T-shirts?
I don't know.
Some are. Like my friend is a business owner, and she had an interview, and they showed up in do-rags and pajamas.
Now here's the thing: I've had Gen Zers show up in interviews with hoodies on, T-shirts, whatever like that. Because
of your age did that too, though, and that's my point. Y'all are talking about this is
nothing.
This is nothing. There are people your age that do that.
No.
Yes, there are. I'm not even going to argue about that.
There may be people my age that do that, but there's also people my age who don't. Right. And my point.
How's that different?
My point is that for me, when I was coming, I was raised or bred that when you go to an interview, you have to dress up, even if it's a remote thing. I don't care. You have to dress up. When I got interviewed here, I didn't come in a T-shirt and some whatever. I came in a suit and a tie and I was dressed appropriately.
You wore a suit to a radio interview?
Yes, because it's an interview.
I wore a collar shirt and jeans.
Either way, you still dressed. You didn't dress in what
we got the same job.
But you didn't.
We don't have the same.
You didn't have pajamas
or bonnet on.
And I'm a producer. You got hired at the same place I did. You wore a fucking suit, and I put on a collar shirt and jeans. We got the same job. What did we learn? What happened? What did I need to wear the suit?
But
did somebody need to teach me to wear the suit?
It wasn't pajamas and a bonnet like some people show up.
It wasn't because I'm not stupid. If somebody's stupid enough to go to a fucking job interview in the clothes they went to sleep in, you telling them not to do that shit ain't gonna change that person. And that person is fucked.
And that's the point. That's the whole point. Because they're all the younger people are showing up to job interviews.
But here's the thing. I'm not even talking about job interviews. What I'm saying is it does change them, because just like I gave the example, just because my boss told me this at Emory, when I got to the job that I'm at, I had to get told something else, like, hey, you do this here, you do this here, you do this here, and I changed and I adapted to the environment that I was in. You telling a person, hey, don't come out looking this way, come looking this way, it will change them. Now, you may not feel like it changes them for the better, but we don't know what the seeds that are being planted. Some of it could be white supremacy, you got to be in some box or whatever like that. Others could be like, okay, in this situation, I got to maneuver and I got to be like a chameleon. I got to be this way here. When I'm over here, I got to be this way. I think, unfortunately, you have to teach them, because if you don't set a standard, they won't have anything to live up to. That's all I'm saying.
The standard, I'm not opposed to setting a standard. I'm not opposed to telling 18-year-old or college-age kids that there's a time and place for everything. Where I'm drawing the line at is telling college students that live on a college campus, that wake up at all different times of the day, that are up all different times of the night, that they're not allowed to go in the cafeteria as comfortable as they want to be. And when I say going to the cafeteria as comfortable as they want to be, I'm not saying going there with your ass out. I'm not saying that your hair needs to be done. I'm not saying all of that. All I'm saying is, if you roll out of bed at 9:30 and the caf stops serving breakfast at 9:45 or 10 in the morning, and you want to brush your teeth and go to the caf real quick, you should be able to do that. Don't tell me that the reason I can't go to the fucking caf with a do-rag on is because you want me to be able to be a politician when I graduate college. That's fucking stupid. I don't care what, like, I understand. I got respect for y'all know I got respect for y'all. I got respect for those people at Tuskegee University. That is fucking stupid. I think that whole idea of what a professional person is in America is based on the white man's ideology. But I'm not disagreeing with the fact that that doesn't matter when it comes to you wanting a job.
But no, I understand. We understand what you're saying. But again, your generation is different than what's coming.
We're in the same generation.
I don't think
it's not.
I'm talking about the younger ones.
I was in college 6 years ago. You were in college 10 years ago, right? Or longer than that.
15.
2015 is when you were done?
2010 was when I was done.
Oh, you mean 15 years? Okay, we're not in the same generation.
We are in the same generation. I was in
college. These kids.
We're in the same generation. That's what I'm saying. What year was you born? Go 96. Look up. Okay, that's when the end of millennials are.
Oh, you mean so like
we're in the same generation.
We're in a different time.
Yeah, what are you talking about? You don't know what college. You didn't go to college in the 2010s. You were done with college by the late 2000s. You don't know what niggas was wearing.
I was done with college in 2010. What are you saying?
The 2000s is when you were in. You finished college in 2010. That means the 3 years before that were the 2000s. I was in college the entire 2010s until the end of the 2020s. Niggas were dressing how they dress now, right now, when I was in college. And what I'm telling y'all is this is overstated. It was overstated when I was in college. It was overstated the year after I got out of college when niggas did this, because it's not the first fucking time we've had a conversation about an HBCU telling kids what they can wear while they're there. This is something that HBCUs do all the time, and it's weird. It's completely unnecessary, and it only happens at HBCUs. And then niggas like y'all get on camera and say, well, that's because they want better for you. No, the fuck it's not. Do not tell me that that's the reason why they do that. Because if that's true, why don't any of the major white universities that want the best for their students force them to do shit like that?
Because they don't dress like that. Let us know what you think about the Tuskegee situation, even Howard. Should people be able to should people be able to dress however they want to dress going to school, or should they have to abide by a dress code to appease other people? Let us know what you think.